pain for over 30 years now. I had major surgery for scoliosis when I was 14, and I had spinal fusion and steel rods, and I've had complications from that my whole life, and arthritis. Early on, doctors wanted to start putting me on a lot of pain medications, and fortunately I have a good primary care physician who I've seen since I was 14, and he saw that there was nothing but chronic pain in my future, and it was not going to go away. It was not going to get better. So the road that was going to lead me down was one of heavy chronic narcotics use, and I didn't want to go down that road, and he didn't want me to go down that road either. So I had several prescriptions. About 10 years ago, the side effects from the prescriptions to me were not worth the very minimal benefit I was receiving. So I started investigating herbs and started really learning about herbal medicines and alternatives to big farm kinds of pain relievers. I knew there had to be a better way. There had to be a way to treat pain that existed before big farm got involved. So I started investigating other cultures, what they use, their native plants, their teas, and I started working on this pain formula. It took me over 2 years to come to the formula that I use now. I tweaked it on and off constantly, trying to find something better, that would meet anti-inflammatory properties, pain relief, all of those kind of things, neurological pain relief, muscle pain relief, joint pain relief, bone pain relief. Since I have all of these conditions combined, I really started looking at the different properties of herbs, trying to make a combination that would meet my needs and not just drug me up and make me a zombie. Now, this formula does make you drowsy, and so I take it at night, or if I am not going anywhere, not driving, not using machinery, and I can sit down if I feel tired. There are a lot of flowering herbs in this, so if you have allergies, probably herbs are not for you, because you're going to hit something eventually that is going to give you an allergic reaction. I have no allergies. Some of the herbs in this mixture are, like I said, have sedative properties. So that is the reason why you don't want to drive or anything. I found that a lot of pain narcotics, all they were doing was doping me up, knocking me out, and not taking away my pain. So I was like knocked out and still in pain. This pain tea isn't going to completely take away your pain. It will, for me, it does dull it. It makes it bearable. And like I said, some of these herbs do the same thing that the other herbs do, but I have worked at this combination until I have adding and subtracting and putting in other things and trying different ones until I feel this is a pretty good formula. If you are on medications, please don't stop your medications without consulting your doctor. If you're going to take this pain formula tea and you are on medications, please write down the herbs that are in this and take it to your doctor to make sure that nothing interferes with the other kinds of medicines that are involved. Remember, a lot of medications that we take today were derived from herbs to begin with. Aspirin was from white willow bark. I find, for me, I know a lot of people make the tinctures with the alcohol, and I just find teas work well for me. I like warm drinks, and it just works well for me. So that's what I tend to make a lot of. I make topical salves, and I make a lot of teas. So I have my herbs, and what we have here is we're going to be using these iron heat. We use the iron in their heat infused tea bags. I use Monterey Bay Spice Company bags just because I seem to get good sale deals on these, but there are all kinds of these tea bags online. And we're going to be making the tea bags So what you're going to need is 2 teaspoons of Angelica, 2 teaspoons of Meadowsweet, 2 teaspoons of white willow bark, 2 teaspoons of devil's claw, which is a fantastic pain relieving herb that grows in Africa, 2 teaspoons of black cohash, 2 teaspoons of St. John's wort, 2 teaspoons of nettle, 2 teaspoons of Solomon's seal, 2 teaspoons of yarrow, both the flowers and the leaves, 2 teaspoons of chamomile, 2 teaspoons of ground cloves, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of feverfew, 2 teaspoons of passion flower. That might seem like a lot of herbs, but like I said, I've been working on this, and it's just the concoction that I ended up with. That I started making it, there were a couple other things that I had in it that I have since phased out. One, because I try to keep up on studies that are being done, and whenever a new study comes out saying that something has more detriment than benefits, I try to find something that, another herb that does that same, has the same benefits. So I've used this one for a pretty long time, and it is successful for me. So I hope you can find the same results. So what you're going to do is, some of these herbs, like the chamomile, for instance, has the little flowers, and I like to make sure those are like completely crunched up. And you will find chamomile just sort of, they're just like little poop balls, and they just sort of explode when you smash them, so it's really easy. The finer you have something ground up, the faster the healthy properties steep into the water, and the more easily it is for your body to process it. So anything like that is harder. The devil's claw is usually going to be, it almost looks like little rocks. It's harder to crunch up into powder form. You got to do a little bit at a time. Some of mine I've already sort of crunched it up, but it takes a while. But you know, it doesn't have to be a powder. It just, you know, some of the bigger pieces, like I said, you know, if you let it steep longer, it's gonna be okay. But like roots really need to be sort of put into the smallest form as possible. And anytime you have a root, like, you're really going to need to let it steep for 10 to 15 minutes or more in your water. So we're going to take all of our herbs here. We're just going to put them in this bowl. And these are all dried, and you can find these online. I have some sellers on eBay that I have used for years. You can find some sellers on Amazon that sell these if you don't grow them yourself. Some of these are just, you can't grow everything. And some of these, like the devil's claw, I have tried repeatedly to grow my own plant. I just don't, even here in Texas, I just don't have the climate that matches the climate in Africa where this grows natively, and I can't get it to grow. So that's just one of those things I'm going to have to continue to buy. Devil's claw and white willow bark are, to me, 2 of the best pain relievers that are out there. Like I said, if you have most of these herbs, if you found them and you just can't find a couple of them, it's probably still going to be pretty effective. I would stress getting that white willow bark and getting the devil's claw. If you have any kind of heart issue, please talk to your doctor before using the white willow bark, because it has the same exact properties as aspirin, except for the difference is it will not cause stomach irritation or digestive irritation like aspirin does. So it's a little bit safer in that regard. But it does have the same, all the other same sort of blood thinning properties and stuff that aspirin has. So if you're on blood thinner or something, please do not use white willow bark until you consult your doctor. And what we're going to do is we're going to be using the tea bags, and we're going to be putting 2 teaspoons of our herbal mix into our tea bag. I have this little, it's just like a sleeve ironing board that I use a lot for my crafts and my small things like this. You can use a regular ironing board. I just cover it with a clean dish towel just to make it clean. Now, if you've watched some of my other herbal tea videos, I talked about how I got this fantastic sale on the Monterey Bay Spice Company heat sealed teapot size bags, and they were so cheap that I couldn't pass it up. So what I have done is cut them in half. You probably will just have a single tea bag, so you won't have to mess with this. So you'll just have one edge that you need to iron. On some of mine I have multiple edges just because of the way they were cut. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just fill my tea bags and put them in this bowl, and then we'll come back and we will iron them. And your iron needs to be set on no steam. And so we're going to take 2 heaping teaspoons per bag. Like I said, your bags, if you have single bags, will look different because of my whole teapot thing here that I got. This should yield about 12 tea bags. No matter how many times I make this, any herbal tea, it seems like I come up somehow different every time because since I'm not being like super exact here with my measurements, I'm just scooping it with a regular old teaspoon. This tea can be taken 6 to 8 ounces every 4 to 6 hours. I find if I just take it, you know, before bedtime while I'm catching the last of the night's news sort of thing, just drink my tea, and then I go to bed, and it seems to do the trick. Okay, so I have all my tea bags that need to be ironed now. Now sometimes you make herbal teas and you need to add a peppermint for taste, or some cinnamon candies, or honey or something. I find that this, because of the cinnamon and cloves in it, it just has a nice sort of spice taste, so it doesn't, I don't really add anything to it, but you could always feel free to add honey or, you know, something if you feel like you need that. To close your tea bags, you're just going to hold your iron on the heat sensitive, it's like a tissue paper sort of. Make sure you shake your spices down. I have had pretty good success with these bags. Most of the time they hold up. Occasionally one will not have sealed real well, but for the most part, I don't have any problems with these bags. And we have the tea bags done. So here they are. And for usage, you steep them in 6 to 8 ounces of water for 10 to 15 minutes. Usually takes about that long if you're using boiling water to cool down anyway. And I cover mine. I put the boiling water, drop the bag in, and then I cover it with either a saucer or a very thick dish towel or something, just to keep the steam in, so everything stays in the cup and steeps and all that. The good properties of these herbs infuse the boiling water. And I hope that you can try this and at least, you know, take a little bit of the edge off your pain, and help you out a little bit. It's also very good for just regular working sore muscles and things like that. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time at Canterbury Trails Farm. Bye.